start this video, I want to talk to you about the weather. The weather here in Yorkshire the past 2 weeks has been absolutely rubbish. We've had wind, rain, more wind, more rain, snow, sleet more like, more rain, heavy winds. And to be honest with you, it's been quite annoying. Not being able to get out with camera as much as I'd like to, not being able to fly the drone as much as I'd like to. But yesterday, it changed. The rain stopped for 2 hours. The wind calmed down. So I took that opportunity to take out my drone. I wasn't expecting much. Skies were still grey, overcast, but still a breeze and the chance of heavy rain any second. But I went out with the drone and I captured the photo that you probably had to watch while you're watching this video. It's the first time I've used GoPro raw files. I just was messing about in the park with drone, thought, try a raw file, see what happens, see how well it edits. So without further ado, let's crack on. Okay, so here we go. So I've loaded the image into Lightroom. As you can see, there's no adjustments being made as of yet. All the sliders are central and 0. The image is flat, underexposed in areas, and as you can see, clipping, there's slightly overexposure there, and in the darks there's some clipping happening in the bushes around the tower. So we're going to fix the image, see what we can do with this GoPro raw file taken from the Hero 6 while flying with the camera drone. Like I said, I wasn't expecting much from this image at all, due to I was just out having a fly. Thought I'd try the raw file, got it home. I expected to delete it, to be honest with you, looking at it first off, but I had to play with it just to see how much tweaking can be done to the raw file, to see how it holds quality, etc. So we'll start first. I'll just work down the sliders. So temperature and tint, I've gone for 4800, which is as shot. I'm just going to leave those as they are, and it's a +12 tint, due to the white balance looking okay at the moment. We may change it later on, but up to now the white balance is pretty good. So first of all, exposure, just to try and increase exposure on this area. So we're just going to increase this. So we're going to go at 1 point. Let's have a look, a bit more round about there. So I've gone for 1.14 there. Next down, so contrast. So you can see this has really helped this section here. It's going to blur the sky out, but we'll sort that out in a bit. So next, contrast. So let's get this is just to make the tower a little bit more punchy. So round there, I think should have gone to +37. Working down, so we've got highlights next, which we're going to save the sky a little bit doing this. So take that down to around about there, -77. Shadows, so we're going to just get a bit more brightness in these shadows down here, which is about there, I think. We're not clipping anywhere anymore, and we're not blown out anywhere anymore, so that's a good start. Alright, next down the list is whites. So on the whites, we're just going to fetch those down ever so slightly. We'll have it about there, about -34. And then the blacks, we shall go, we're going to increase these again, and we shall go about there, I think. Yes, +76, so that's that one. Next we have clarity down here, which I'm going to increase just to again make the picture look a bit more punchy. So on our clarity, we're going to go, we don't want to go crazy because I mean some people might like that look, but I think it's just a bit overcooked. So we'll go somewhere in the middle, round about there, so it don't look overdone, but it has added a bit more. As you can see from that to that, just looks a little bit more punchy. Next we have vibrance. So vibrance, the look I'm going for, or the look that I ended up with, was quite a muted, moody sort of look. So to get that, I'll take the vibrance down just to get that greyed out look. So I've gone there -44, but then just to bring some colour back, I'm going to increase saturation up to +60. So I like this green, really stands out. It looks a bit neon-y green at the moment. But yeah, as you can see already, so if we go back to the original image, we've gone from that to that, which is looking better already. From there, then what we shall do is just fine adjust with the tone curve. So it's going to look slightly backwards, this, because some of these highlights I'm going to fetch back a little bit, but using the tone curve, I just want a very slight S tone curve. So with the highlights, we shall take them up to round about there, a nice round 30. The lights, not as much, so just +4. The darks, -4, so it's adjusted. And then the shadows will go around -8, I think. Yeah. So as you can see, let's just take it back so you can see what that's done. So once the really shallow S curve has been put in, it's just a bit more contrast to the image overall. So before we start messing around with the colours as such, as you can see, the sky is back blown out around about where it was before, and we're going to sort that sky out now and get it looking nice and moody, because at the moment this part of the image looks fine, the sky looks terrible. So we're going to use the graduated filter. So we'll just put that on and we'll just drag down from the top. And I'm just going to put show selected mask overlay just so we can see whereabouts it's overlaying to. I'm just going to fetch that down so it mixes onto the horizon, so it fades down into the horizon nicely. At the moment it's set to adjust the temperature, hence why we have a bit of a orangey brown look to the sky. So we're just going to reset that back down to 0 because we don't want to affect the colour of the sky as such. But what we do want to affect is the exposure. So we're going to take the exposure down quite a bit. We'll go to somewhere around, it's still clipping somewhere, it's just dropped below clipping at -2.35. So I'm just going to take it slightly further just to make sure there's nothing about -2.40. And again, we're going to use the contrast control just to get the sky looking a bit more moody. So let's increase that up. We don't want to go crazy, because if we go crazy it's going to go really dark. If you're looking for that sort of look, you go crazy with it. And then clarity again, just to add a bit of punchiness. What are we going to do with clarity? You can see you can go a bit crazy with it again. We'll go midway. 45 looks good. And then we'll use the dehaze tool and we'll just ever so slightly increase that to, we don't want to go crazy, 15. Just adds a bit of darkness to these clouds, and that is looking pretty good. Saturation, I suppose we can always increase that ever so slightly, not very much, but that's okay. Right, so we can come out of this filter so we can see now. And just before we did the graduated filter, we had that sky, and then using the graduated filter we get that sky. Some people may not like the look there, but I'm quite happy with that. And before we start editing these colours, I just want to get rid of myself and my wife there, and we'll do a slight crop. So we're just going to the crop tool, and we'll take it up just above the top of those stairs there. Round about there looks good to me. So lastly, we shall use the HSL sliders, which, if you don't know, stands for hue, saturation and luminance. So we're not going to mess with the hue. If you wanted to, you can get some really funky effects, so like yellows. You can really change the yellows to more of an autumny sort of look, but we're going to leave those as they are. What we are going to concentrate on is saturation and luminance. So saturation for the red channel, I'm going to put it into the correct mode. We're just going to take that down ever so slightly to -14. The orange we're going to increase, as I want to try and emphasize these orangey brown leaves here and get some more colour back into the tower. So we shall go to we can really push this a little bit, plus you can see we're brightening up these sections. We'll go +53. Yellow, again, we'll just increase that ever so slightly, +10, which just added a bit more colour here. Greens, so we're going to really saturate the grass now. Greens, so we're going to go a bit, let's go crazy. We'll go +62. So let's have a look if you can see. It's just made it a bit more green rather than the yellowy colour what we had before. The aqua will go +17. Blues -3, just take a bit of blueness out of the skies and any blue tones. And then we shall do this. We're not going to mess with the purple and magentas because there's not really much purple and magentas in the image. And then we're going to go into luminance. With the red channel, we shall make it slightly darker at -31. Orange, we are going to boost up just to get these leaves here popping out at us with a plus, let's see, how far can we go? We'll go +60. Same with the yellows, we're going to get the yellows really boost up. You can see that's brightening all this foreground section here. I think I might have gone slightly too far with that. And we'll take it down to +54. Greens, just so we don't look as, I suppose, toxic green what we've got going on here. We'll just knock it down ever so slightly just to fetch that back in a little bit. Aquas, we'll just increase those again up to +15. Blues +16-ish, 15, 16, anywhere around there. And yes, so that, as you can see, is looking pretty good. To my eyes, it looks pretty good anyway. Might not be everybody's taste, but considering that's what we started with, and that's where we are now, I think the image looks quite a bit better. One last thing we can use is split toning. Quite happy with how it looks at the moment, but we can always add a little bit of split tone in just to help retone the image if needed. So for the highlights, I'm going to keep in this yellowy orange section, which if we take it to about 65, and then the saturation just 3, so it only just makes a difference. And for the shadows, we're going to go up into a blue area, so about 203, and the saturation for that one just slightly more, and there we go with a 10. So you can see the difference that makes. So we go from that to that, just cools the image down ever so slightly, but carries on, keeps these oranges standing out of the green and grey background. Right, last thing you could do if you wanted to go even further is a bit of vignetting. So you could, if you wanted to really mood it up and go crazy with the vignette, but I'm just going to leave it at 0 and have no vignetting whatsoever. So you can see his histogram now is looking better than what it was before. So yeah, that's the image. Let's just turn the lights out so you can see that a bit better. I'm quite happy considering I just went out to fly the drone and didn't expect to come away with any kind of image whatsoever. Yeah, so if this video has helped you in any way, or if you've enjoyed listening to me ramble on for 10 minutes, half an hour, whatever, however long this video is, give us a thumbs up. If you would like to see any more of these videos, leave a comment below. Any feedback is very much appreciated, and if you have not already subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button even, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.